Good morning, sir. At the present moment, when the pandemic still inhibits our daily interaction, how do you think can a teenager seek romance despite the many barriers hindering the way? Good day to our practical research advisor, Mr. Eric B. Ayuyon. I am Gracelyn Rose Leeper, and I would like to greet you a pleasant morning. Together with my members, Ms. Bernadette Over, Ms. Lauren Grace Lamera, Ms. Samantha Blasambre, Ms. Jade Anhoven, Mr. Han Vincent Figarido, and Mr. John Adrian Fayo, we will be presenting to you our final qualitative research entitled Kamusta na ang Gugma? A Teenager's Romantic Memoir in the New Normal Society. For the abstract, here is Ms. Bernadette Hoover.
Thank you, Christopher, for a brief description of our study.
Hindi ba
Analyze.
tion? Hindi ba tion?
Thank you, Ms. Dipper, for a brief description of our study. The researchers analyzed an interesting narrative of a teenager who found a different method of online dating and has now found a romantic partner, dedicating all their efforts for each other. Furthermore, the researchers conducted, transcribed, and worked with a narrative analysis to highlight this following major point. Experiences of unnatural online dating impact on a teenager's overall health, limitations and boundaries teens of Gen Z must oblige, and the proper guidance parents must execute for their children's safety. In result of this study, the researchers conducted that Gen Z innovates romantically with a narrative showing that despite all the barriers preventing them to socialize and even seek out for romantic partners, it would all manage to divide and adapt a plan that would suffice their needs at an age where curiosity and romance blooms invisibly. For the background of our study, here is Miss Gracelyn Rose Slipper.
Background of the study. Thank you, Ms. Hover. To fill you in with the background of our study, let us reminisce the year 2019, where the now called COVID-19 virus or coronavirus pandemic from Wuhan, China, transmitted like wildfire, bestowing death to millions of lives around the world. Since then, a new normal society in 2020 was birthed to allow citizens in adapting to the life in the midst of this global crisis. The new normal society regulates the world through the implementation of COVID-19 protocols that requires mandatory frequent disinfection of hands with soap and water, sanitizer, and alcohols to avoid the risk of exposing oneself to the harm of the pandemic. Gatherings in huge crowds are also prohibited by the government, and when leaving one's house, it is a must to follow wearing a face mask and face shields in avoiding transmission. Apart from the protocols by the government, the new normal society became a technology and an internet dependent society, wherein communication and socialization happens virtually through social media, online sites, or other communication platforms that were devised specifically for this age. However, the youth of this year's generation, or most prominently known as Generation Z, or Gen Z for short, engages themselves more often on social media, especially teens. Social media such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and many more others, are what brings them together in conversing notorious topics or subjects. In an age where curiosity of various aspects in life, especially in romance, teenagers innovated a new way of romancing given the current situation through courtship and building a relationship in the internet. Teenagers are a pivotal fragment in our society. As learners under humanities and social sciences strand, the researchers chose this topic in accordance to the purpose of our study of societal issues and changes as well as human conditions. For the significance of our study, here is Mr. John Adrian Fayo.
Significance. Thank you, Ms. Slipper. Our study shows particular contribution to the society, which is to spread awareness, especially towards the parents of this year's generation, high school learners, future researchers, and school administrators. As the teenager of Gen Z keeps on innovating, especially in this time of turmoil, parents are usually left behind the fast growth of their children. With this study, it can be disseminate awareness to the possible action of teenagers by committing an online relationship or romance. Furthermore, this study supplements their knowledge on how romance works on technology, as well to aid them in discovering platforms the teenager uses in socializing with other people. Also, this study provides the equation to the high school learners about the effects of online romance to their physical, emotion, and mental health. This broadening knowledge on this matter that may comprehend other actions and do not step on their boundaries. On the other hand, future researchers may acquire further knowledge to aid in the ah, researcher to the students to aid them in discovering factors knowledge about the topic. In addition, with this study, they can also explore the topic that is related to the subject and may project virus that problems that need awareness. Finally, with this study, also reveals the reason why teenagers behave a certain way in classes that allows them to acquire further knowledge about the students live outside the classes that may affect their academic achievements. For the objectives and research question, here is Mr. Hans Vincent Fergarito.
Thank you, Mr. Fayo. For the objectives, specifically, the study also aims to find answers from the participants' narrative about first, her newfound method of dating online, second, the effects of online romance on her physical, mental, and emotional health, third, limitations she must abide, and fourth, significance and of parental guidance. As a minor living under the global crisis, our study ought to delve into the new methods of romantic communications among teens as it signifies to our study wherein it educates us and enlightens us on how teens approach their romantic partners in this time of pandemic. In addition, inquiring about its effect is highly essential in order for us to analyze its impact on a teenager's overall being. Furthermore, unveiling limitations and boundaries as well as significance of parental guidance in order for the adults to supervise or the government to provide possible solutions in our circumstances. For the research questions, to guide our Kamusta na ang Gugma, a teenager's romantic memoir in the New Normal Society study, epistemological and ontological questions are utilized. Epistemological questions are questions of relating to the nature and grounds of knowledge, especially with reference to its limits and validity. Hence, our epistemological question includes first, how can this narrative provide awareness on the limits teenagers must follow regarding to current age? Second, what implications does the story have on proper guidance by the parents in monitoring their children online dating for security purposes? On the other hand, ontological questions are questions about the nature of being or the kinds of things that have existence. Thus, our ontological questions includes first, what does the narrative reveal about the participant's experience with using different ways of online dating? Second, what are the effects of online romance on the participant's physical, mental, and emotional health? For the review of related literatures, here is Ms. Lauren Gage Lamera.
Thank you, Mr. Figueredo. We assimilated our study from different related literatures that stood as pillars to construct our research. Romantic relationship in adolescence allows us to prevail in understanding how romance affect a teenager's overall being. At such a young age, to feel romantic attraction, let alone even understanding intimacy, teenagers' feelings are prominently disregarded, but actually, this is a crucial period for them and for their parents as well, as their young relationship can serve as their lessons that may contribute to their growth, resilience, and happiness in their teenage years, as well as a foundation to their future long term relationships. Social media effects on youth serves as a fundamental literature in analyzing the effects of social media towards the youth, as 60% of social media users are composed of students and youth, apart from growing as a form of communication and entertainment. It is beneficial for the educational development of the youth, writing and communicating skills, cultural promoting, religious and political information gathering and sharing links, better living styles, growth and development of society. Though social media is a significant part of today's generation in terms of keeping in touch through instant messaging, social networks, online games, and many other tools, it can also be a negative influence when teenagers share the same interest in unethical activities. Social media impact on dating in the digital age supported us in comprehending that many teens in relationships view social media as a place where they can feel more connected with the daily contours of their significant other's life, as well as to share emotional connections and let their significant other know they care. Although these sites can also lead to feelings of jealousy or uncertainty about the stability of one's relationship. Traditional courtship allowed us to look back on how courtship in the past took place. Bridal courtship, serenade, and servitude remained true to its legacy despite multiple innovations and changes in society. It also presented that courtship in the Philippines does not consent a relationship, even marriage, between a man who does not formally ask a woman's hand from her parents. With this literature, our study with this literature, our study has progressed to compare the courtship and romance between the new normal society and the pre-colonial era to the pre-pandemic society. It showed myriad of differences, but one thing remained. It is that no matter the method, love will always prevail. For the methodology, here is Miss Samantha Bless Hambre.
Before,
Mythology.
excuse me, before you proceed to the next, make sure that you write the correct title. Ha? When you say review of related literature, no S na siya ha. Be careful kamo sang inyong subtitles bala. Okay. So methodology. Okay, but you did not include your I expect that you will also include your definition of terms based on the main words of your research title and also the research paradigm. Okay, so I think your research paradigm should be part of your background of the study. All right, but I did not see in one of the slides, okay, the research paradigm. I do not know why you intentionally, for example, disregarded, okay, to include that. But anyway, continue with the methodology. Go.
Mythology. Thank you, Ms. Namera. In analyzing the principles and procedure of our inquiry, our study utilized narrative inquiry as our research design. Narrative inquiry, according to Clandin and Huber, is then both a view of the phenomena of people's experiences and a methodology of a narratively inquiring into experience, and thus allows for the intimate study of individuals' experiences over time and in context. On the other hand, in choosing our participant, we applied purposive sampling. Purposive sampling, also known as judgmental, selective, or subjective sampling, is a form of a non-probability sampling in which researchers rely on their own judgment when choosing members of the population to participate in their surveys. Thus,
Jambre,
sir,
Samantha, Samantha, kagahod da sang ano na, mang may ara da sa, may ibang pangatawo da sa ano mo, sa,
sir,
oo, kagahod sa ila. Hindi
I
may
see.
hindi ko ka ano hindi ko kamurot sa ginambal mo kay daw laban panggahod sa sa imong ano na
I'm sorry,
report.
good sir.
Oo. Continue lang. Ang bala sila naton ay give please tell them to give you a few minutes to be quiet para nga matapos mong imong part. Okay? Continue. Continue, Jambre.
Sir, basta ginambala niyo pa to, sir.
Okay, okay.
On the other hand, in choosing our participant, we applied purposive sampling. Purposive sampling, also known as judgmental, selective, or subjective sampling, is a form of a non-probability sampling in which researchers rely on their own judgment when choosing members of the population to participate in their surveys. Thus, we invited Winkle, a 17-year-old female, grade 11 senior high school student that has an experience in engaging with online romance. As a part of inviting our participants, we measured ethical considerations, such as asking the participants' permission before doing an interview. Also, we inform our participants with the full disclosure on the purpose and procedures of the research, potential risks, possible benefits, storage of data our research can involve. Furthermore, we consider the confidentiality of the interview as well as naming the participant Winkle as her pseudonym to ensure her anonymity. As an instrument for our data collection, we adopted a semi-structured interview as an approach of inquiry to our participants. Semi-structured interviews are an effective methods for data collection when the researcher wants. Number one, to collect qualitative open-ended data. Number two, to explore participant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about a particular topic. And number three, to delve deeply into personal and sometimes sensitive issues. The interview, however, took place on Google Meet, an app that allows you to connect with different people to communicate with each other. As the COVID-19 virus is still active as of today, this measure was employed to guarantee the safety of the researchers and the interviewee as well. As a procedure in gathering our data, we interviewed our participants in regards to answering our research question. Then, our group applied the labels narrative analysis. Label analysis is a very structured way of identifying and or coding narratives using the below six-part model. Drawing on labels, researchers tend to conduct fine-grained social-linguistic analysis of participants' speech. After the transcription and the recording of the interview, our group utilized narrative analysis. As our data analysis, narrative analysis refers to a cluster of analytic methods for interpreting text or visual data that have a stored form. A common assumption of narrative method is that people tell stories to help organize and make sense of their lives, and their stored accounts are functional and purposeful. For the result of our research, here is Miss Jade Ann Hoover.
Thank you, Ms. Humber. For the result, the participant, aka Winkle, is a 17-year-old teenager and a senior high school student. She entered online romance unexpectedly in the midst of pandemic through an online game app. And at this present time, she is now happy and continues her romance with the person she met online. The participant was a daughter to a strict parent, so she kept her relationship a secret in hopes of being consented later when things return to normal. Divided into 6 categories, our group analyzed the transcript recording of interview and classified the interviewee's story according to Lavu's 6 story elements. Significance in our abstract includes socializing with people online, playing multiplayer games, and unexpectedly. It is revealed that initially our participant did not intend on finding romance online, but through her passion of playing games and socializing, it factored for her entering a romantic relationship with partner online. On the orientation, as stated by our interviewee, they met on multiplayer app with a set of 5 versus 5 called ML or Mobile Legends. This app has a communication feature installed in its system, which allows the interviewee and their partner to enter the courting stage. The relationship soon blossomed after exchanging accounts on social media, such as Facebook, then used Discord and Messenger as communication apps to express their feelings with each other. As a result of committing to a relationship online, her sleeping routine became disordered as her quality time with her partner is usually from 8 in the evening till 2 in the morning. Apart from her broken body clock, her mental and emotional health are completely stable as they continue to look out for each other. Complication exposed that Winkle's romantic affair online is kept hidden, disguised as friendship from her family, as both of her parents are looking out for her future. They did not advise her to seek a romantic partner just yet, but when her parents became aware of her situation, they immediately restricted her usage of cellular devices unless for academic purposes. Evaluation in Winkle's narrative introduced to us how she decided to fix her circumstance with the introduction of her partner to her parents through an online platform. Her parents evaluated her partner and later on decided to permit the relationship. Despite consenting the relationship, her parents saw as a form of punishment and hiding her relationship. As a result of their permitted relationship, her parents implemented boundary she and his partner must follow. This includes their quality time being limited as well instill goodness in their health, as well as monitoring their conversation to avoid conversing unethical conversation. Lastly, her parents controlled their clothing and a decent fashion. For Winkle's call our conclusion, she stated that playing with other people's feelings may bring you happiness to you, but can give you a negative impact to the person you are toying with. She also concluded that rushing for romance may lead you to suffering while testing your partner's intention may save you from being toyed. Moreover, prioritizing time management can help you balance your life and relationship. Finally, seeking parental guidance should be taken into account as well. For the discussion, here is Ms. Grayson Rose Lipper.
Thank you. Discussion. For the ontological question number 1. Given the situation today, most teenagers of Gen Z piqued their interest on online game apps that allows them to socialize locally and internationally through the chat box and speaker installed in their system. This showed that aside from the quotidian love match apps,
Can you
online game
excuse me?
apps could also bridge.
Excuse me,
Sir,
Grace Lynn. Grace Lynn,
yes,
I have
sir.
already made my comments regarding what to do with your research questions because you
Yes,
cannot
sir.
use the plural because you interviewed only one teenager, di ba? So you cannot simply say online dating among teens, but you have to target it with one particular teenager who happens to to
Our
use an
participant, sir.
online
Yes, sir.
dating app. Oo. Because if you will use the plural, it seems that you are already generalizing this to many teenagers. That's why you have to limit only the experience of online dating to only one participant or only one teenager. So muna gani nga ambal ko sa inyo nga hindi na kamo magamit sa plural kay balaan mo isa lang katawong experience. So, hindi mo na iya nga sila nga dala sa mo pang ibang mga teenagers kay base ilain man tong ila yang experience ya, hindi ba?
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Online game apps could also bridge two hearts through interaction and showing off one skill during a game. Also, as stated by Winkle, to get to know each other proficiently and employ courtship, switching to communication apps allows her to communicate efficiently in a much better quality. For the ontological question number two, as the participant committed herself to a relationship built online, we can say that its impact may be compared to a yin and yang symbol. Since physical gatherings are not made possible by the current global crisis, the urge to maintain a certain body feature is neglected. However, due to their nocturnal quality time, their sleeping routine is distorted and flaws have been dominantly displayed in their faces. On the other hand, while communication only through gadgets can act as a support whenever each has their own problems to deal with, it caused the participant to sometimes overthink of her partner's actions off camera. Lastly, to cope with her emotional health, both of them tried to understand each other and express their feelings without provoking unstable emotions. For the epistemological question number one, the narrative provided basic highlights for teenagers to follow regarding their age, such as appropriate clothing, time limit, topic restraint, and conversation monitoring, as well as describing the danger of crossing the adult line despite being a minor. As stated by Winkle, limitations are a must to enjoy their youth and not rush to adult interactions. With this, surely this will allow teenagers to open their eyes to this reality, and such awareness may lead them to a better relationship. For the epistemological question number two, awareness on their children's romantic activities and proper guidance on the parent's lateral may ensure their children a safe and healthy relationship. With addressing limitations and proper guidance, such as being open minded and accepting to their children's relationship and providing tips and advice along the way, their children may be able to stay sane and not go astray. For the conclusion, here is Miss Bernadette Hoover.
Thank you, Miss Slipper. For the
The
conclusion
conclusion
part,
is wrong spelling. Wrong spelling ang conclusion nyo. It should be implications and reflections. That should be the last part.
sige. Paano ko, sir?
Oo, pero wrong spelling ang conclusion mo. Continue.
For the conclusion to our research study, kamusta na ang gugma at teenagers romantic before in the new normal society? As stated in the first bullet, that the researchers discovered that the interviewee didn't set out to find a relationship online. Rather, it just happened by chance while bonding and playing the game Mobile Legends. This reveals an interesting aspect of online dating. It can happen whether or not you intend it to. Teens nowadays, especially during pandemic, tend to spend more time with their gadgets, socializing via online platforms or online games. where they can communicate with people from all over the world. As we can see in the second bullet, as teenagers are are it are in the age where curiosity is at its finest, their will to satisfy their needs is a top priority, especially in this new normal society we are living, as socializing plays a crucial role in shaping a person in the adolescent stage. Bullet number 3 showed that simply learning to be self sufficient and mature, as well as experiencing love that does not involve constant physical contact. According to the interviewee, internet dating has helped her mature enough to trust her partner, and it helped her manage her time both with her partner and family. As stated by the fourth bullet, although age plays a crucial role in finding someone on the internet, teens without proper knowledge may be led to be scammed or meet people who have no good intention. The fifth bullet stated that as most teenagers this year's generation invested their dating on the online platform, it is best that parents should prioritize their focus on their children's relationship, as its influence may greatly affect the teenage. Bullet number 6 showed that parents should also be aware of the new devices and technologies that are invented in the new generation to aid the youth in their romantic relationship. With broad understanding, parents should be able to guide and their children on how they would successfully handle their romantic affairs with decency. Finally, as seen in bullet number 7, socializing with other people is significant to our health as well. Apart from molding our identity, the shape and shaping our beliefs and interests, socialization also gives us meaningful lessons that we can apply to our daily life as well.
And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening to our qualitative research entitled Kamusta na ang Gugma? A Teenager's Romantic Memoir in the New Normal Society. The room is now open for questions, suggestions, and recommendations.
I'd like to ask the first question to Mr. Fayo. Mr. Fayo, are you listening? Mr.
Yes,
Fayo?
sir.
Okay, so thank you for opening your microphone, okay? Do you agree with all the members of the group that this topic is really a good topic for research? If because I understand that this topic has been chosen by all the members of the group. Now, for you personally, do you agree with the rest of the members of the group that this topic is really good, okay, for you to conduct a study about, well, you know, the
Teenagers.
yes, the way most teenagers today would find or would navigate, okay, their love life, okay,
Yes.
using on an online platform. Yes, Fayo, go.
For me, yes, sir, because on the other hand, it helps other teenagers to know what is wrong and right for the on in the relationship. For me, sir.
All right. So next question. Okay, who among you were assigned to do the interviewing? Who was assigned to do the interviewing? All of you, right? During the online interview. Tanan ka mo nag-interview, no? Or were there only one or two?
No, sir. Only chosen, sir.
Only
3 kami
chosen.
kabilog, sir.
Si sino ang nag-interview, Gid? Sino?
Hindi per pag ako.
Si Hover, sir.
Okay, Hover.
Sir.
Okay, so Hover, may I ask this question? Okay, how did the romantic relationship online end? Okay, as evidence or as provided by the evidence of the interview data. Okay, so what's the outcome so far? Okay, did the relationship prosper? Okay, was the relationship the end in what do you call this? And they live happily forever and after. Mga happy ending bala, or maybe the ending was a failure, or how did it end? By the way.
Okay. So it didn't end actually to be bad because both of them got the benefit, like to be mature as stated by the interviewer. Both of them became mature by this online romance, and you're able to build a relationship that, like, they're loyal and they trust each other. So it it depicts that the relationship ends with a happy ever after.
Okay. Who was your partner, Hover, when the
Research.
participant was interviewed? Who was your partner when
Me,
Research.
you
sir.
interviewed? Miss
Leaper, sir.
Leaper. Okay, Leaper. My question to you
Yes,
is
sir.
this. Okay. Uh, did did the two did the participant and kalaway sang ano na sang ano ni may sound? What is that sound?
Ah,
Oh, ang sound kalaway. Okay, so Grace Lynn, okay.
yes, sir.
Since you are also the one or you partnered with your classmate or group member to dig deeper into the relationship of the two, was there an instance when the two met eyeball to eyeball?
Ano, sir?
Did the two happen to meet eyeball to eyeball? Meaning, did they meet physically?
No, sir, because sir, ang Winkle's boyfriend is from Luzon, sir, while she's
Okay.
in Visayas, sir.
Okay. So, I'm glad that because of that account, that there was no eyeball to eyeball involved, no physical meeting involved. That means it averted any possibility that the two will fall into the temptation of consummating physical romantic love. Okay. So next question, Lauren, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Lauren?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Lauren. Is the romantic or yes, is the romantic dating or the dating platform, okay, uh, is a good platform for you to try when you want to navigate a romantic love with a person you do not know? Is it a good platform for you? What is your personal opinion about it? Because if it happened to other teenagers already, what is your opinion about this online dating platform? Will you also embrace or subscribe to this type of platform for you to navigate something like a romantic club with another person whom you do not, I mean, a total stranger for that matter? Okay, what do you think, Lauren? Unmute your microphone.
Yes, sir, because it's your choice, man, sir, to trust the person. You should get to know the person first, and it's up to you to love him or to form a romantic relationship with him, sir.
Okay, so I have something to share with you because it's not really an online dating, but sometimes, okay, in the social media like Facebook, okay, a teenager or uh, a woman in her early 20s would befriend me. And then later, I was shocked that she said something like this. See, I'm in the bathroom and I am undressing myself, and you know what already happened? Because I know the social media has a social cost. Okay. Online dating has a social cost. Okay. What do you think should be done in order for you, okay, to be secure in the way you use the dating online platform, that you can protect yourself from stalkers or from pedophiles or from what do you call that? Another term for that is uh, yes, from stalkers. Okay. Uh, Hoben, can you answer that? In other words, Hoben, my question is, how do you put in place a security check for you to be protected about not fall into those users of social media whose intention is really to victimize teenagers like you, like for example, stalkers and pedophiles. Okay, Hoben.
For me, sir, first thing, I will, wait lang. I will not trust them, sir. I will not give them the, sir, um, oh, wait lang. Sir, repeat the, sir, question.
How do you protect yourself that while using the social media, okay, we are very much prone to being victimized by stalkers or pedophiles, uh, especially for those who have bad intentions, usually those who are victimizing teenagers today. While of course social media is a good avenue sometimes to meet new friends, how do you protect yourself that when somebody in the social media is interested in you, okay, how do you protect yourself from not being victimized or being victimized by a stalker like that?
I block them, sir. Block them. Or, sir.
Hmm. So
Block
what
also.
Figarido, okay, Mr. Figarido, what realizations do you have? Okay. What lessons have you learned from the narrative of the participant when it comes to online dating? Now, because you are a male student, okay, what realizations do you have? Meaning, what lessons have you learned so far? Because this is storytelling, okay, and what do you think the participant would like to accomplish? Why she is very much willing to share her own story? Why do you think she wants to share her story? And what lessons have you learned so far from the story that she has shared with the group? Figarido?
Oh, hello, sir.
Yes?
So for me, she wants to share her story because she wants to everybody also to know that and also aware on what are her experiences or what happens in their relationship. So what I learned in her narrative is that as a teenager also I can relate into that uh, type of narrative because I am also experienced being in love during a pandemic. So so things really doesn't seem different for me. So um
Continue.
hello, sir.
Sige lang, continue lang.
Sir,
Okay.
stop na, sir.
Okay, are you done? Are you done, Mr. Figarido?
Probably iyang nga net, sir.
All right. So we go to you, Bless, because you are a female. After hearing or after